Marjorie and Gladys. But now it's Pet Rehab.
Hi there, I'm Kate Garraway. Welcome to Pet Rehab, the show which gives you a tour of the wide variety of animals living in London and shows you how to give them the right TLC. Stand by, because coming up on today's show, we reveal why this dog gives evolution a break, while this sheepdog just can't stop doing old tricks. And we find out why pasta is top of the menu for these reptiles. And ask which celeb has this cardboard cat in their garden. I guess we all dream of a home in the country now and then, don't we? The idea of a break from the hectic pace and stress of urban life seems so appealing. Well, out in quiet and rustic old Windsor, there is a place that caters solely for those who've just had enough of London life. Sadly, it's not for you and me, it's for dogs. Everyone has their favourite dogs. The kitchen walls are covered with photos of former residents.
This one's called Wolfie. It's particularly special to me because when he came in he didn't know anything, and I actually taught him how to sit and lay down and give paw and stuff, so that when he went home he was actually really good at everything he did. So it's just nice to look at the wall and say, yep, that's that dog guy, really helps that.
First to be fed is a lurcher. His food is scattered onto the floor to stop him eating too quickly. Next up is Marvin. He's a little stressed out, so gets to eat from a Kong.
He's on our enter and exit programme, so he always has to sit before you go into the kennel, and he has to stay there until you open the door and you're completely in. So he's already done it already, so he knows that he has to. Good boy. No, down. Marvin, sit. Good boy. Yeah. This dog's called Monty. Because he's a greyhound, we put the food up high for them. The reason he's jumping is because he's excited to see me, he's excited to see the food. He should stop once I get in there. Good boy. Good boy, sit.
While Monty is polishing off his food, two tiny kittens are about to have their second meal of the day. Most people don't realise that Battersea Dogs Home also rescues cats. Warden Gale is hand-rearing these as their mother has run out of milk. However, she does have rather an odd helper.
Twiddle's a lurcher, and she basically helps me with the hand-rearing. As you can see, at the moment she's cleaning them. She's doing what their mum would do to them, obviously naturally, which is sort of stimulating them so they can obviously urinate or mess. It tends to be sort of a bit of a joint job. I tend to feed them and Twiddle tends to clean them and sort of make sure they're okay. As soon as they cry, basically Twiddle's there, she's on the ready.
The 19-day-old kittens, Cookie and Cream, get on very well with Twiddle, which is rather unusual.
Having a lurcher that is so compatible with cats is lovely. Lurchers unfortunately get quite a lot of bad press because the majority of them are likely to go after cats or squirrels and chase them.
Once Cookie and Cream are 4 weeks old, they'll be able to eat and clean themselves without the help of their cat-loving canine friend. So Twiddle will soon have to say goodbye to her kittens as they'll be off to new homes. Oh, that's so sweet. What a great story. Coming up, we've got some more canine capers now. Every week, our vet in residence, Dr. Scott Miller, tries to get to grips with some pets behaving very strangely. And this week, it's an unbelievable case.
My name's Jenny, and these are two of my grandchildren. This is Louis, who's 10, and this is Courtney, who is 4. I've had Benji for 5 months. He's settled in extremely Well, he's absolutely wonderful. His one problem is that he herds these two grandchildren. I call it herding. Whether it actually is or not, I don't know. But he starts to jump around them, all the way around them, all the time, to the side of them, to the front of them. It's as if he doesn't want them to move away. I've got 6 grandchildren and he only ever does it to these 2 for some reason.
He really gets on my nerves, basically. And I know he gets on Courtney's nerves. When I ride my bike, he tries to bite the wheel.
What do you think he thinks when he's doing it?
I think he's trying to burst my wheel, and that's what I think he's doing.
See how intent he is? I think I'm probably his 5th home in 3 years. I don't want to pass him on. He's not going anywhere else. Because other than this, he's an absolute love sponge. He's wonderful. Very, very affectionate. He loves me, and I've found the best friend in the world.
So let's see if our pet shrink, Dr. Scotty, can help.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, I'm Dr. Scotty. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
and
meet
this is
you
Benji.
too. This
Hello,
is Benji.
buddy. Hello.
Say hello.
Let's go in and have a chat, shall we?
Come in.
Great, thank you. I cannot believe that this is the same dog from the footage. This is Benji, being very, very well behaved. He's had a bit of a checkered past. Where was the previous home?
The previous home was actually with my daughter.
Right.
Another one that we know of before that also had a little boy that he used to herd.
Yeah.
And before that, I believe we were told it possibly came from Battersea.
Battersea Dogs Home.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I do really think that, you know, you've got a real heart of gold to take on a dog like this. He is what we would like to call a repeat offender. We get that a lot with RSPCA cruelty cases. A lot of animals come back to these welfare organisations with behavioural problems. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be a real uphill battle. We're fighting against 2,000 years of genetic programming. He's got very breed-specific behaviour to herd. To try and get on top of that in just one lifespan is going to be extremely difficult. Okay.
I understand that.
That said, I do feel that he has some confusion in the hierarchical order in your house. Certainly he sees you as the alpha female and him as the alpha male. He seems to have accepted me pretty well, but he doesn't seem to accept the kids, and I think that's purely because he sees he's above them, and that's why he feels that he can herd them. So when the kids come over, to try and assert their dominance a little bit more, is to maybe get them to feed the dog when they come in.
Yes.
Okay. Never feed the dog until after yourself and the kids have all eaten, okay? And I'd like you to use a slightly higher tone. You're quite a low-spoken person, so increase that tone and a slight growl, so no. And you can see very quickly he's looking at me and listening to what I'm saying. No yelling, just using that tone. But I really hope that things do work out for you and things do improve, or buy a flock of sheep. Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, Benji is still herding the grandchildren, but Jenny hopes she can cope without having to get a herd of sheep in. And he seems to agree. Anyway, moving on, Ian Newby in Southend runs one of the very few reptile sanctuaries in the Greater London area. Exotic pets may be trendy, but very often owners don't realise just how hard they are to look after and end up having to give them away. So space at Ian's facility is always at a premium, and owners have to work very hard to ensure their pet gets a place. At his sanctuary, Ian is starting work on his expansion plans, and the place looks a bit of a mess.
The back end of the garden, we've recently just put up a 35-foot building to house the same as what we've got here, some of the animals in here, to make bigger, better enclosures.
The new animal room needs felting to make it watertight. Ian's friend Lee has offered his services, but nothing comes free. Lee needs a favour.
I've got a Savannah monitor, which is going to be donated as well to look after it for me. And so I said, in exchange for that, I'll come round and re-roof this shed. Because until this is done, you can't open it up and put terrariums and that in it.
With reptiles being notoriously difficult to rehome, Lee had better get working if he wants that lizard off his hands. Meanwhile, Ian's girlfriend Lisa is feeding the rescued birds in the aviary. However, there are a few uninvited birds at the sanctuary, slowing down the expansion and making more work for the team.
We bought this off of someone locally, and it's an ex-pigeon loft, and it had over 200 pigeons that used to be in it, But unfortunately, because they're racing pigeons, some of them have decided to come back to their home. So for the time being, we're just letting the pigeons that have come back roam free. And eventually, we're going to have a pigeon loft. And it's just a case of trying to get them to use it because they're so in love with their old home now.
While Lee finishes off the roof, double act Bill and Terry arrive to start putting up the pigeon coop.
Go on, Terry, you can get down here, boy. So let's just see how that pole goes in. Right.
Yeah, we can back.
You ain't got cement, have you?
No.
Come see how much cement we've got in there, Terry. Right. And see what sand we've got. Thanks, Terry.
This is Bill. He's come over with Tel, his grandson, to put the post in for the pigeon off. Hopefully, if this can set overnight, then the pigeon off can go off tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
The following morning brings rain, lots and lots of rain. Ian is starting to doubt that 3 people will be able to lift the new pigeon coop over next door's fence and up onto an 8-foot pole.
Yeah, we just lift it up, lob it over. Grandad will catch it the other side, we'll be all right.
Chris. Terry? Terry.
Get some screws ready.
Who's in charge?
You are, you're the boss.
Right, okay.
Now, you lift it up. More lift. Here, Terry.
Whoa. There, Terry.
I think you take it down and get a couple more people.
Bill and Terry have other ideas.
You're all right, you're all right. You're all right. Keep going, you're all right. You okay, you're okay. Keep going. Get it in the middle, Over towards you, Terry. What's it look like? Looks quite good, doesn't it?
A week later, and the reptile residents might not be in their new enclosures just yet, but at least the homeless pigeons have a roof over their heads. That's it for part 1, but stay tuned to find out what kind of haute cuisine Ian is serving up for his reptilian friends. Find out which celeb has cardboard pets in the garden. And for all you cat lovers out there, we've got plenty of cute moggies for you. Don't go away.
Pet Rehab, sponsored by Butchers, 100% complete.
If you're a business customer who's tired of getting through to a recorded message, you should switch. Because with O2 Best for Business, you'll only ever talk to a person. See what you can do. O2.
Just one little Calgon tap in with every wash protects against limescale damage and breakdowns.
Washing machines live longer with Calgon.
Disney and I celebrate 100 years of Disney magical moments, starring Mickey, Minnie, Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio, and all your favourite Disney princesses. Relive your favourite moments from Mulan, The Lion King, and many more. Disney and I celebrates 100 years of Disney magical moments at Wembley Arena from the 21st to the 26th of October.
The wireless Toshiba Tecra anywhere. And with its Intel Centrino mobile technology, it can take you anywhere too. Choose freedom.
Meet the experts of PC World.
With our trained technicians, we can help in so many ways. Detailed advice, solving problems, data transfer, saving everything from one hard disk onto another. Upgrades, we can actually fit them here. Our technician training is Microsoft and Intel accredited.
She's very clued up.
A world expert in chocolate.
I heard I can use networking.
Step into any PC world and there's an expert here to help.
PC World.
Get the music you want on AOL Broadband. Bands, concerts, exclusive performances, and the latest downloads all included, and all at broadband speed. And you get everything you want for only $27.99 a month.
AOL. What happens is in your hands.
Asda would like to thank the thousands of people who have helped roll back thousands of prices, which has resulted in Asda being voted the lowest priced supermarket for the 6th year running. So, everyone's happy. Always rolling back prices. That's Asda people.
With car insurance from More Than, you can protect your maximum no-claim bonus for life, whatever happens.
Lucky?
That's more than lucky. To protect your no-claim bonus for life, don't accept less than More Than. Call 0800 300 202.
Marjorie Hayward and her cleaner Gladys have just apprehended a burglar a bit too hard.
Can't seem to find a pulse.
There's a June Brown and Marjorie and Gladys.
I've killed before, you know. He could easily be next.
Tonight at 9, ITV1.
Hello, welcome back to Pet Rehab. Coming up, we've got my personal favourites, cats, who always need loads of love and attention. But first, something more exotic. Now, what would you say iguanas like to have as their mid-morning snack? Well, I can tell you, it's not what you're thinking. Early each morning, Lisa turns on the heat lamps in the reptile room. Ian's domain is the snakes, while Lisa sticks to the iguanas.
I had iguanas before I met Ian, and I was going to bring them with me, all my other pets come with me, but my dad fell completely in love with my iguanas. And when I come to say, right, I'm taking them, my dad was just like, oh no, you can't take them.
Ian's preparing fresh fruit and veg for the iguanas, all part of their natural diet.
You do get some people that feed iguanas dog food, and they will get used to it, will eat it, and it will beef them up and make them look really impressive. But you only end up with problems with the iguana later on, so it's best to just stay to its normal food.
However, Lisa's learned a trick or two in keeping her iguanas happy.
My iguanas went absolutely mad for macaroni and cheese. And it's very good because it's quite fatty. So all the iguanas now, we give a spoonful of macaroni and cheese to. And they seem to, when I first said to Ian, he was like, you are joking. But now they love it, don't they? And it really helps to plump them up.
You have to wash their faces afterwards.
Yeah.
The animals mean a lot to Lisa, who at 8 months pregnant still doesn't want to give up her precious iguanas.
I haven't fed the iguanas for about 8 months now, because she won't let me because I'll get the bowls mixed up.
The only other thing you really need to do with the iguanas is spray them once a day with a vitamin spray. Just to keep the moisture in their enclosure and to just keep their skin all nice and clean and fresh.
Because captive iguanas don't get enough calcium, Lisa sprinkles calcium dust on their food.
If I wasn't to put the calcium dust on their food, they would get very brittle bones, not grow properly, get deformities. And you do find a lot of them have come in with it. Here we are. As you can see, these people are getting a bowl in before they come over to the food. Get out of the way! You'd think they've not been fed for like a week, but this is like daily, every morning these two are like, give me my food, must eat. It's just panic. Oh my gosh, she's going to get to it first. Oh my God, I must hurry.
Each iguana has its own distinct personality.
He's quite nervy, Buzz. It may take him a good couple of months for him to settle down. Some of them, like Blossom, she just settled in overnight. She was absolutely fine. Because they were brought in by the RSPCA, we don't know what they've been through before we get them. So we don't sort of really know how bad they're going to be. He was actually the latest one to be brought in. He was found just walking down a road by the RSPCA. And no one's reported him missing. They do tend to grow up and get nasty and big, and the tail, when they lash you with a tail, it can be like a knife going through your skin. It's very sharp. They can bite to the bone, and they can grow about 3 times the size of him and be very, very nasty. And of course you'll get them at a pet shop, a lovely bright green colour, a little sweet lizard, but it grows and then everyone thinks, oh God, what do I do? And I do think they get dumped a lot as well as escape.
But reptiles aren't the only guests at the sanctuary.
These are just giant African land snails that someone had bred them and bred too many. So I took them on, and then they started having millions of eggs. And I decided I wanted to keep all the babies and just let them have a go at breeding. And they've done very well. You can see the size of Mum and Dad, quite huge.
The snails are Lisa's pet project. Slow and slimy, Ian just can't understand her interest in them.
Snails, I don't see the fascination myself. They slime all over you. No, reptiles, they're the ones.
But if the snails keep on breeding, they might soon take over the sanctuary. Now, I've always fancied a goat as a pet. I think it's from reading Heidi as a little girl. But this week, our celebrity and pet celeb has quite a different pet. Now, that's the slot where you at home have the chance to snoop around the houses of the rich and famous and see what kind of pets they keep. This week, you need to look at all the clues before making your mind up. Oh, and by the way, that's one of the clues. Our celebrity pets this week are Bob, Biggie and friends. They're easygoing and they like eating algae. Bob and Biggie lead a pampered existence in their private tank in a corner of the living room of their celebrity owner. She occasionally likes to eat Mexican food, but has a soft spot for champagne and orange juice. Not only did she make plenty of records, she's also associated with those who break records. Our celeb this week is Cheryl Baker.
It's me!
As if spoiling Bob and Biggie isn't enough, Cheryl has a pond in her garden where she keeps even more fish. As they're reproducing very quickly, she's given up naming them individually.
The children said, oh, when are we going to get pets? When are we going to get pets? So Steve and I first of all started by getting them a couple of fish in a fish bowl. And then I said, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had a pond in the garden and we had loads of fish? So we did that. The fish in the garden pond are not posh, they're not koi carp or anything like that. They're a complete mixture, but I like that.
Cheryl likes to relax by watching and playing with Bob, Biggie and their mates. But unfortunately, she isn't the only one who loves stirring things up.
I know that there was a heron that kept coming down and taking some of the fish for its breakfast, so Steve came up with this ingenious idea. We've got a wooden cat that we sit by the side of the pond, and we've also got a kite that's in the shape of a bird. When the wind blows, the kite flaps, and so it keeps any herons away.
Well, we'll see how much longer the phony bird and the wooden cat will do the trick. I have a feeling you may have to come up with something new for next summer, Cheryl. From cardboard cats to the real thing. Southall Cattery in London is where most of the strays in the capital are taken. All of them as cute as a button and all of them looking for an owner. Which one would you like to take home? Every year, thousands of cats end up on the streets after being dumped or ill-treated by their owners. RSPCA Southall is the only centre in the capital specialising in rehabilitating and rehoming these moggies. And some of them have had a rough life.
All of our cats are strays. They've all had a trauma, whether it's a road traffic accident, whether it's trauma caused by humans or other animals. But all these cats have been in a hospital through sickness and illness.
Bev and her team work on rehabilitating the cats by giving them lots of TLC, and they spend hours every day just stroking and grooming them. But one recent arrival, a young kitten found on the streets in South London, is still finding it hard to settle down. As it hasn't touched its food for 3 days, Bev fears that it might have an infection.
102. So his temperature's up quite a bit. Normal temperature for a cat is 101.1, so his temperature's 102. So his temperature is up slightly.
Although the temperature indicates a slight fever and possible infection, Bev thinks there might be another reason for the kitten's problems.
I just think she's probably come from a home where she's received a lot of attention, and she's now in here and she's craving attention. She's just very, very stressed out. She needs to be in a home environment.
The pride of the cattery is a £70,000 purpose-built maternity ward in which stray cat mothers can raise their kittens. It's the ideal environment for the latest arrivals to recuperate from their traumatic experiences.
These 3 kittens were dumped On the lane outside the gates on Wednesday afternoon, 2 kittens were found near enough immediately, but unfortunately, come here mate, this little black one was left. And because of his colouring, and because it was night time, and because of his size, we couldn't see him, we couldn't find him. And in the morning we went back out there and we'd found him up a tree. Obviously he was cold, very frightened, very hungry, but we managed to put a ladder up the tree and get him down.
Reunited with his brothers, our little black kitten is finding life in the cattery no problem at all, and it looks as if all his recent troubles are long forgotten. That's it for this week's show. Just time to tell you what's coming up on next week's Pet Rehab. We reveal just how pampered you can get at a doggy spa, see how Ian copes with an aggressive anaconda, and meet the celebrity owner of these 2 bundles of fur. Until then, take care. See you next week.